What are some of the best performing venture funds ever?
Yeah, that's a good question. The one that comes to mind is Chris Sacca's first fund, lowercase one. It was an $8 million fund. And I've seen the financials. So the audited financials, it returned 204x DPI.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah,
that's like an individual best check on like in a fund for someone.
Yeah, Chris had a great nose. He was, in Instagram, Twitter, and Uber, and also Stripe. Pretty good.
Yeah, that's decent. Yeah, pretty good.
But, so amongst the mere mortals, the best performing fund that we have in our portfolio is Mucker. I mentioned Mucker with regard to Audit Board. That's not their best fund. Their best fund is their first one, and it's 20x DPI. And it's because they own 7% of Honey. And Honey sold to PayPal for cash, $4 billion. So they got 280 million back. And their fund is 12 million. Their first fund was 12 million.
Oh, wow.
And, just because people can do math, carry on 280 is 56 million, right? So
that's the fund. They returned the entire fund in carry, like to themselves.
Yeah, they returned almost 5x the fund in the form of carry to themselves.
Yeah.
It's also life-changing money for Eric and Will, but yet they are amongst the hardest working GPs that we have. I think that's also an interesting dynamic, is that there are people who make enough money or personal wealth that they start leading sort of what I call a rich guy life. And they're kind of, in it for lifestyle, but, also want to be relevant. There are others, and I think they just have a different DNA, who just really work hard no matter what. And that's actually what you want to see. And you see that with founders, right? The Collisons, for example, at Stripe. So, getting back to that, Mucker is the best performing fund manager that we have. The second one is Manu Kumar, and we're not in his first fund. Manu runs a fund called K9, and it's a pre-seed fund.
I've heard of it, yeah.
He's the guy who actually coined the phrase pre-seed.
Really?
This was like 12 years ago.
Okay.
His first fund is 80x.
And isn't he invested in Uber's seed round, right?
No,
Am I
Lyft.
remembering that? Oh, Lyft seed round.
Lyft,
Okay.
Twilio. He's basically the co-founder of Carta. So those were all in his first fund.
Wow.
Sadly,
That's
was
good.
Before my time. Same with lowercase one. It was before I started. Those were both like 2008, 2009 funds.
And you started Cendana at 12 or 10?
I formed the management company in February of 2010.
Okay.
And our first fund, the final close was 2012.
Yeah. I know it was a journey to get there. We'll talk about it a little bit later.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're teasing people here.